Is there a time limit to how long we can cross-examine a particular witness? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some terrific information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. And the answer is no, there is no specific definable time limit within which we have in order to cross-examine a particular opposing witness at trial. Now, here's the scenario. You brought a lawsuit against your doctor claiming that he was careless. He turns around and says, hey, I didn't cause your injury and I didn't do anything wrong. And now he says, I'll see you at trial because I'm never settling this case. And you say, fine, we'll see you at trial. So now, 2 to 3 years down the road, after you've gone through the entire pre-trial litigation process, now your case finally arrives at trial. And now your attorney puts on all of your testimony, all of your witnesses, and all of the evidence that you need in order to show that you are slightly more likely right than wrong, that what you are claiming is true. That your doctor violated the basic standards of medical care. Number 2, that as a result of those violations, now you suffered significant harm and injury. All right, well, guess what? The defense lawyer has an opportunity to cross-examine each and every one of our witnesses. Likewise, when the defense begins to put on their witnesses to show that they did nothing wrong, they're going to be putting on various medical experts. So now it gives us an opportunity to cross-examine their experts. Cross-examination is the high point of every single courtroom drama that you see in the movies. Cross-examination happens to be very exciting. It's very interesting, and it's really a search for the truth. And if an attorney does their job correctly during cross-examination, the whole goal really is to whittle away and chip away at the witness's credibility. You won't find witnesses turning to quivering blobs of jello that says, you're right, Mr. Attorney, you're right, I'm so sorry, I've been testifying all wrong. No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of it works. Instead, the attorney has to chip away little by little to expose the various untruths, or, to turn it around, to expose the lies, to expose the inconsistencies, so the jury gets the understanding that, hey, this witness is not being totally truthful. And as a result of that, I don't know if I can believe what this witness is saying. That's the real goal of cross-examination. And by the way, you should know that the best lawyers in New York don't have to be aggressive and nasty and hard-hitting over and over again during the course of cross-examination. Although, there is a place and a time for that, with the righteous indignation to show to the jury, how dare this witness talk this way, or how dare this witness say these things. Yes, there is a place and time for that. But you will find that the best lawyers in New York, the best trial attorneys, are ones who use different strategies with different witnesses during cross-examination. So there may be instances where a really great trial attorney turns around and is very pleasant, is very sweet to the witness, and is very understanding, but at the same time still asks hard-hitting questions, while still with a smile on his face. Let's get back to the title of this video. Is there a specific time frame in which we have in order to question a particular witness? The answer is no. You should know, though, that the judge will impose certain time restrictions on the attorney's opening arguments at the very beginning of trial, as well as closing arguments at the very end of the trial. The judge wants to make sure that the jury is keeping their attention, and if this goes on, let's say closing arguments go on for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, the jury may be bored to death. He doesn't want to see that happen. So he may impose certain time restrictions. But as far as cross-examination, in all likelihood, he will not impose any time restriction. Let's say the defense called their medical expert to support their case to show that they did nothing wrong. Okay, so now he's on the witness stand for maybe 2 hours. Now, I get up to cross-examine him, and 2 hours into cross-examining him, the judge says to me, excuse me, Mr. Oginski, are you going to be much longer? I look at my watch, and we're approaching lunchtime. I said, Judge, actually, I have quite a bit more for this witness. Can I resume after lunch? And he looks at his watch and say, okay, we're going to take a lunch break now, come back at 2 o'clock, and we will resume. And now I come back at 2 o'clock, everybody's in the courtroom, and now I continue my cross-examination. So what happens if by the end of the day, let's say by 5 o'clock, I am still not done with my cross-examination? If it takes me 3 hours to do an effective cross-examination, then in all likelihood, I'm the one with the problem. On the other hand, I may have to delve into this witness's testimony and what he said on direct questioning by his own attorney in order to show to the jury that this witness is being less than truthful. I have a certain agenda when I'm cross-examining a witness. I need to focus on those things that are going to help our case. I want to try and get this medical expert who opposes us to go ahead and bolster our case. And there are various strategies to do that. And in some instances, if done correctly, I can get the defense's medical expert, to go ahead and say, yes, you're absolutely right about these points. In that instance, he lends credibility to our case. Now, at the same time, I have to try and discredit some of the things that he's said, and some of the things he said in favor of the doctor whom you have sued. So there are very different strategies that are employed to go ahead and show that this witness may be less than credible. And it may take a bit of time to do that. So it may take me half an hour, it may take me 6 hours. It depends on the case, it depends on how long this witness has testified, it depends what he said, and there's no set definable time frame in which the judge is going to tell me, hey, Mr. Oginski, come on, let's go, you only have 5 more minutes. That may occur if I've beaten a dead horse, which means that I've gone after the same topic over and over and over again. Everybody's heard it in the courtroom for the last 20 minutes, and nobody wants to hear about it anymore. In that instance, I may have overdone it. And the judge would be well within his right to say, hey, Oginski, move on, or finish up, pick one. So I have to check and see, do I have anything else to go after him? And you should also know that the best trial lawyers in New York sit down when they're done. There's no reason to keep going and keep asking question after question after question once I've made my points. I've made my points, great. Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness. Then I sit down. This way it keeps things moving, it keeps the jurors interested, and now if I were to continue going on and on and on at length, guess what? The jury's getting bored. The jury's getting tired. They're wondering why I keep asking these same questions or similar questions about the same topic repeatedly. That's what we call beating a dead horse. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in these medical malpractice trials here in New York. You know, I understand you're watching this video because you likely have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York, and you have not yet started a lawsuit but are contemplating bringing one, and still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is, you know what I'm going to say, right? Pick up the phone, call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207. or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.